assessing and you're looking back and going, what did I really feel? What did I really think, see, and how could I walk away better?
Mm-hmm.
And especially for a 9, what did I want that I didn't say? And what that is enforcing is, one, what you want matters, and what you say that you want also matters.
Mm-hmm.
And so I love that enforcement of those things, because that right there is really gonna help.
All right, here we are.
Yeah.
After Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day.
So after Valentine's Day can be a little bit of like a sticky spot because you've like decompressed from the holiday.
Absolutely.
And it's like now you're kind of processing, am I disappointed? Like, am I not disappointed? Did it go great? And am I super stoked?
Oh, yeah. You're a superhero. Am I fully fulfilled?
Yeah.
Or on the other hand, do you feel like you let them down, or it's still a fight? You didn't deliver. So now you're in this weird tension of like, what was supposed to be romantic and loving is now you're stuck in this weird kind of conflict.
Or maybe you even argued over Valentine's Day, and now it's like
the worst day ever.
It's like, well, shoot, like that was like it like wrecked it. And so it's like there can be a lot of like mixtures of feelings.
Or I even thought about this one. What about the one where the effort was all there, like really tried?
This
like,
one's sad. Yeah.
Put the full heart into it, and yet the other spouse is still like, oh, well, that was nice, but like a loss almost, like still not up to par with what maybe the other spouse wanted.
And it's interesting because I've been in this situation before of where it's like there's so much pressure around a holiday or around an event that it's like, even if you did give me something that was really great, it's like I'm always like in this like weird tension of, do I give like the, oh my gosh, this is amazing kind of response? Or am I just like, okay, cool, thanks? Because I don't want it to feel forced. And it's like, there's always like this, like, it just feels like, it's like your first date. It's like awkward every time.
Yeah. What should be my response? Because you want it to be a real response, but you also want it to meet the expectation of the person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's this. Valentine's Day is just a whole tornado of feelings and emotions.
Yeah, and some of our friends may have had an absolutely amazing Valentine's Day, which was great. It was wonderful.
Applaud you.
Yeah,
put in the comments what you did.
Yeah, I want to know
how great it was.
Like, let's share it with everybody else. We all want to be winners,
right? So it's like there can just be a lot of stuff, and it's like I mean, it could run the gamut of like amazing to not so great and not so hot.
Yep.
And so, really just kind of like paying attention to what did surface for the holiday, and then kind of just digesting that and breaking down. So this episode, we're going to kind of focus on like the aftermath of, the holiday. And we're going to talk about how the Enneagram kind of can weave into this. Like if you are feeling maybe even a little bit like disappointed, or just kind of like what were the maybe the feelings that you could have experienced based on your Enneagram type. Yeah. And then we're also going to talk about like repairing that and how to like move forward in health and in growth.
Yeah, no, love that.
So I love it.
Can't wait.
So really it's like what we are going to be talking about too is that it's like unmet expectations are so huge.
I mean, it's almost like it's almost coming up as often as our communication, right? Like unmet expectations, though it's part of communication, it is so often the case of it's a violator of relationships. Yeah, unmet expectations, and we said before in the last episode where expectations aren't the problem. Expectations are normal. That's human behavior. Yeah. That's everything. The problem is unsaid expectations, which become unmet expectations, and that becomes a real issue.
Yeah, like one spouse could be like, well, I didn't really want anything, but I did want something.
Yeah, right.
And then another spouse could feel, oh, I'm so relieved that that's over. And then the other one, could be feeling like quietly disappointed. Yep. Or
just don't talk about it.
Yeah, just don't talk about it at all.
We're done. It's over.
Okay,
move on.
Okay. Brush it under the rug and next.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like there's so many things, but ultimately, like we just want to like really encourage our listeners that that the disappointment isn't failure. It's really just information. So take it as information.
It's a big deal.
And move on in acknowledgement.
It's to intake information that will help you going forward. That's what it's all about. Because again, like you said, disappointment, that's a huge statement. Disappointment isn't the final. We're not done with it. No, it's information. Okay, but maybe what I can do better next time. What did I miss? Or what did I do well? Don't forget about that. What you did well. That informs.
Celebrate it. Honor it.
Yes. That informs what comes next. So this is all great information. And even though Valentine's Day's gone by, don't just move on from this. Like, let's process. That's one of the important things about doing self-work is evaluating what's happened so that you can take from an objective place, you can take information and go, okay, well, the way that situation happened, my response to that situation in that moment was either A or B, whatever. And then going forward, who is the human that you want to be? Who do you want to become? So it's good information. So don't just, jump on by this episode because Valentine's Day is over. No, this is actually really good information that can help you going forward in all areas, not just Valentine's Day, because we're talking about love. Here's what we're talking about.
And this is real life.
Yeah,
so it's like,
absolutely.
I mean, you could apply this to birthdays, Christmas, like any type of holiday
Absolutely.
that is like being celebrated. It's like, because I would almost say that it's like this episode is maybe even more valuable than the first one.
Almost.
Because this is okay. Like, how do we process afterwards? Like, if it didn't go great, or if it did go great, let's celebrate and honor that, because I'm all about celebration because I'm an Enneagram 7.
You are, and you do celebrate well. And actually, I want to go back. That point that you just made, this episode almost being more important, because as you said it, I was like, man, we don't want to say that. But then I go, wait a second. The episode before was before Valentine's Day, so there was a certain level of expectation.
Right.
Well, now, did that expectation, one, get met, or two, not get met? And how did you deal with both of those scenarios? Because both of them have value coming away from them. Mm-hmm. Both have value. How you responded, how you received, and then how you walked that through, both have value. And so taking that forward. So I am now agreeing with you, because when you first said it, I was like, I don't want to say, but I'm like, no, that's right. Because this is actually the more important part, because of you're walking away with things. Expectation was hopeful, right? So what happened with that hope as you went into Valentine's Day, assuming that you put a lot of expectation, and could there have been disappointment and all the others? So, okay, sorry, I just keep on going.
But I also feel like Valentine's Day is 24 hours, and it's like what can happen after that 24 hours can last days. And so it's like really processing those emotions afterwards.
Yeah.
And so what we're going to do now is we're going to dive into each Enneagram type. And so if someone doesn't know their Enneagram type, what should they do?
I have a great resource for you. Good setup, honey.
Yeah,
so
it's a great plug.
If you don't know your Enneagram type, and that is, and you're saying, what is this thing? Go to our website, imperfectlymarried.com. Now, towards the bottom, it's a free assessment. We put together an assessment, take you no time to do. And what it's intended to do is just give you a number. And then we're going to send you information on what that number looks like, so that when you hear your Enneagram type that seems like that's kind of you're most familiar with and is most like you, then you can really kind of take it in on things like this. So if that's you right now, you don't know, pause right here, go to the website, imperfectlymarried.com, real quick, take it, come back, we'll see you in a few minutes, and then take it from here.
Yeah, and since it is a shorter test and it is free, you're going to get like a ballpark of what your number could potentially be.
Correct.
So really pay attention to, do things resonate with me in these certain areas? And it's like, and then if you feel like it's really not resonating, maybe you need to like fork out the big bucks.
Yeah.
And you need to go pay for a really thorough Enneagram assessment.
Which we've done, and they're great.
Yes. If that's your jam, or, just keep on experimenting with each number and really kind of be aware of which Enneagram type really stands out to you and which one really resonates with you.
Perfect.
So this isn't just like take an assessment and this is who you are for the rest of your life. This is maybe just get curious. And it's like, does this fit? Try it on just like you would like when you're going shopping and see how it feels.
Totes.
So, all right. So we're going to dive
Jumping in. Okay, here we go.
All right. So we're going to start with the type 1, who is the reformer.
Yeah.
And so the afterthought of like Valentine's Day could be like a statement of like, well, it could have been better, or at least a little bit more intentional. Like these are the types of things that they could be saying.
I've actually felt that before.
Yeah.
That last one, no, I've actually felt that before. That statement, I've actually felt that like, man, I think I could have put more effort into.
Because you're a type 1.
Yeah, I'm a type 1. Sorry. That literally is exactly right.
Yeah, because your inner critic is really kind of kicking in, and it's like it's going to be critical of either you or your spouse.
Yep.
And so you could also like repress the disappointment, and then it kind of leaks out in irritation later.
Wait, what? Come on, ones.
Yeah, that's so not you.
Yeah, not at all.
Just kidding. It's totally you.
Yes.
And so really like one area that we're just kind of like giving as like an area of growth would be like to really name appreciation before that correction. So it's really helping you to focus on the positive before your immediate response is being negative, and practice grace over improvement.
Yeah. Grace and gray are hard for a 1.
Really
are
hard for a 1.
Now, for a spouse of the 1, this is some encouragement that you can give, or a question. What did my spouse try to do well? And so as a spouse to a 1, that's something that you could ask yourself and say, and look at the intent, look at the effort that was put in, and what went well, and then focus on that particular point. And so that's kind of what a 1. Now a 2 is the helper, right? And so the 2, they've experienced Valentine's Day. They kind of done the thing, and they may be thinking, did they feel loved? Did they feel loved? Did I feel loved? Right. And maybe they had felt unseen if effort wasn't reciprocated. That's a 2, right? I'm going to do all this. I'm going to do all of this so that I can get something back, but yet they never voice the things that they need back.
Right.
And so that there's this kind of anticipation. And then there's a tendency to give more instead of asking. And so that could be a 2 and what they're going to be feeling. But then the invitation to growth looks like this: ask directly for reassurance or affection. That's a lot for a 2.
That's huge.
Having to put themselves out there like, I need this. But that's huge growth. That's big time growth. And then let love be mutual, not something that's earned. And so you can imagine a 2 going through all of this effort to put all of this together, and I'm making a perfect day for you to do all this stuff, and expecting something, but then the spouse, there was never any communication, and there was kind of a loss there. So that could definitely be difficult for a 2.
Absolutely. Yep. And so really for the type 2, a helpful question would be, what do I need right now? And can I say it out loud?
Oh, goodness.
Like getting them to actually vocalize what their needs are is huge for that type 2.
That could actually be a great exercise for them, even if they're by themselves, to ask themselves that question, but then actually vocalize that to themselves.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Yeah, internally and physically.
Yeah.
Like even just getting them used to like exercising that muscle of like, what do I need right now?
Identifying a need.
Yeah, because it's really hard because usually those are suppressed feelings.
Yep.
All right, so next we're going to talk about the type 3, who is the achiever. And so the achiever could be kind of thinking like, did we do Valentine's Day right? Like that could be like kind of like their internal processing. Yep. And so they're really going to measure successes and compare themselves to others because they're wanting to win. They're going to want to be the best. They're really going to be high achieving as far as like Valentine's Day. Like they're going to do like the most like curated like Valentine's Day Instagram post, and everything's going to be great.
Okay, I'm going to hold this right there, because I think what was interesting, did we do Valentine's Day right? Now, I think of the 1, I think of myself, where I want things to be right. Do you think the right for the 3 is the same right for the 1 in this particular scenario?
No, because the 3 is wanting to be the best and wanting to win. The 1 is wanting to do it right.
Okay, in how they see it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, there's
or
always
researching it to the
to
most
say
perfect.
that's right.
The most
This is the
perfect
right way. Okay.
Yeah, they're asking chat like, how can I make my spouse feel the most special? And then if they do it and it doesn't work out, then they're going to feel like a failure.
So then for the 3, did we do it right? The right meaning, did I do it right to win?
Yes.
Got it. Yeah.
Yes, because they're wanting to achieve. They're wanting that trophy at the end.
Yep.
You know, they're wanting to do it the best way possible. And so they also might minimize disappointment just to kind of keep things moving.
Got to get to the end.
Yeah, because it's like, again, it's all about that end goal.
Yep.
So a growth invitation for the type 3 is really going to be slow down enough to feel instead of perform.
Yeah.
It's like take off your mask for a second and really feel into the holiday. Like that's where it's like, again, celebrate and honor, but don't celebrate and honor for the performance, but celebrate and honor for like the true emotion and feeling of the holiday. And let connection matter more than optics.
Wow.
So that's, again,
Gotta feel.
Like taking away that Instagram perfection and really kind of letting in those true connection, emotion, feelings.
Yep. Okay, 3. So you have to ask this question and answer it. What did I feel beneath the "we're fine" response? Because you got to feel now, right?
Yeah.
This is not all about you achieving and going and getting. You have to then feel this. So that's a challenge to you. 3. Type 4, the individualist. You want to be very special. You want to kind of be your own, be your own thing, not be misunderstood. So Valentine's Day happened, and you could be asking or saying it didn't feel as meaningful as I had hoped. Some expectation, some desire for wonderful feeling, and maybe it didn't quite meet that.
Didn't land.
Yep, didn't land the way that you wanted it to land. There maybe some emotional depth meets expectation, right? There's some a risk that there could be some spiraling into longing or comparison.
They're really going to be feeling into the holiday. So if you are married to a type 4, this would be a really great opportunity to check in with them to be like, hey, how was Valentine's Day for you? And, take that emotional lead and just kind of meet them where they're at, because they're probably having a lot of feels even a week, 2 weeks after the holiday.
Wow.
Like they could still be feeling in that
processing
aftermath.
that.
Yeah.
Wow. So some growth here for you 4s?
Yep.
There we go. Sorry. Is ground feelings in reality, not fantasy. Taking hold of something you absolutely know to be true and then processing it in that way. And then invite connection instead of withdrawing. You wanting to be in your own headspace and go through the gamut of emotions can draw you to be in this isolating kind of solo, do it on your own thing. Push against that and draw yourself into some more connection that could help you anchor yourself to actual reality, and then kind of help you in truth, and actually help you process that through. That's important.
Yeah. So one question that you could be asking yourself was, what's true about my spouse's love? Because again, that's going back to what you were saying of anchoring into that truth. And in recognizing that even if it wasn't perfect, there's still truth to my spouse's love.
Absolutely.
I mean, really, I think that's a general question that would be really great for anyone, because it's like, I think that a lot of times we get mixed up in this huge expectation of what a holiday or what something should look like, but really grounding ourselves back in reality of like, okay, so
this I know is true.
This is the truth of my spouse and how they love me, because they love me different than how I love them. So that's really great.
Yeah.
All right. So now we're going to talk about the type 5, who is the investigator. And so now that the holiday is over, they could be actually saying to themselves,
thank the Lord.
Whew, I'm glad that's over.
That's done.
Yeah. Because really, it's like this holiday can really be like emotional intensity feels so draining for them.
Just an open spigot. They're just
their battery has gone all the way
yeah.
to empty,
Yeah.
and probably you just need to buy
Oh,
a
yeah.
whole new. They are not even
They're-
rechargeable
it's
at this
just
point.
Yeah.
So they could actually retreat without realizing that their partner still needs processing. And so
Yeah.
it's like they could be like, okay, that's over. Like, next, move on. And it's like kind of leave their partner behind if they need to like kind of process.
Being so empty, right? Just
yes.
And you can understand that need to go into and just needing to recharge, but you're one unit.
Yes.
Like, you have to remember that there's someone else that could need you still.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely. And being present is just that. It's a difficulty for them.
Absolutely.
And so, try to stay present just a little bit longer. Remember, it's like you're not going to die. You're not going to, be so depleted you'll never be able to crawl out of the hole and pit of doom. Like, there is hope around the corner, and it's like just trying to stay present a little bit longer because you love your spouse that much is just a really great thing. And also just share your thoughts, not just your observations. So not like the facts of what you're seeing, but actually kind of go into like, okay, like, so what do I think about that? I think is really helpful for that type 5 also.
Because observations are kind of on the outside, easy to just kind of spurt off. But what you think requires you to do some work and go, okay, wait a second. What do I actually think about this?
Well, a great example could be like, oh, that wall is gray, and that's my observation. But my thought about it is, well, oh gosh, actually, there kind of has like some hues of like purple, and it actually makes me kind of feel like really kind of warm inside when I look at that color.
Got it. Yep.
So that's more of like the actual thinking and processing of that observation.
Yeah. No. Okay. And for a 5, what about this question? Okay, hold there for a second. You're recharged. You have a little bit of time past Valentine's Day. You've processed with your spouse, and you're a little recharged. And then you would ask a question like this: what would it look like, thinking back on Valentine's Day and the whole process of Valentine's Day, what would it look like to stay engaged without being overwhelmed? So you're not in the moment. You're not in the moment. So you don't have any fear of being overwhelmed. But now think about, okay, place yourself, you're already recharged right now. Place yourself back there and say, what would it look like to actually be engaged and not succumb to the feeling of being overwhelmed? It's a great question to ask.
No, and it's great
to really go into that. So we love you 5s. 6s, our loyalists in the room. So you're going to be asking yourself after all of that, are we okay? Are we good? Like, did it go okay? Right? There are anxious ones, right? You're going to be, will possibly read the day as a relationship barometer. So how did Valentine's go? All of a sudden, our 6s are going to take that and then say, wait, depending on how good or bad in their eyes it went, now that's what our relationship is. Like that's the whole thing.
Or if the spouse didn't put as much attention into it, it's like all of a sudden now, wait, do you actually love me? Like, are you committed? Are we good?
Yep.
Like that's like there's just so much to a type 6.
Yeah. And then so you may have some anxiety that may linger if expectations weren't clear. So there could be some uneasiness, some unsteadiness there that could remain. But the invitation of growth, an area of growth for a 6, would be ask for reassurance without testing. So you're not having to test the water, just put it out there. Ask for reassurance. I need assuring statements back to me. I need an assuring feelings back to me. That'd be something that's important. And then trust connection that's already been done over conclusions that you may have come to through the filter of anxiety.
Right. And so another type of kind of like reflection could be, what reassurance do I need, and have I actually asked for it?
Oh, that second part is interesting.
Yeah, because a lot of the times they may be just like caught in the hamster wheel in their mind, but it's like they need to vocalize that and actually ask for it. Like, have you asked for it?
Great.
And so that's going to be really helpful for the type 6, just to kind of calm that anxiety inside of them.
That's really good.
All right, so now we're on to the type 7, who's the enthusiast.
I think I do that every time.
And like one of the things that after Valentine's Day is over, it's like, okay, next, let's move on, because it's like we're already on to the next holiday or the next event or the next thing.
Yep.
And so really for a type 7, there's this huge avoidance and heaviness of like dealing with like that disappointment. So like we could like really want to avoid all things that kind of are negative or kind of bringing that ick emotion. And so they also may unintentionally bypass their partner's feelings, especially if they're negative. So it's like, oh, okay. And like anything that's icky or like heavy makes a 7 want to shut down and move on, because we don't like to feel into those negative emotions. And so really for the type 7, an invitation to growth would be to sit with that discomfort instead of reframing it too fast, because we're pro reframers, and
Absolutely are.
let sadness have a seat at the table. And that's going to be challenging, but it's like sometimes it's like we do need to kind of allow those emotions to kind of seep in, because one of the biggest fears for the type 7 is that if I let myself feel that emotion, I'm never not going to feel that. So it's like,
say that again.
It feels as though it's like, if I let that emotion in, that I'm never not going to be feeling that. So
like that's going to be your new normal all the time.
I'm never going to feel any good emotions ever again. It feels so deep. And so that's kind of like that fear.
So another question that a 7 can ask in the midst of reflecting and looking and wanting to, kind of be growing self is, what am I avoiding by staying upbeat?
I just don't really like this question.
Yeah, I figured you wouldn't.
This is a great question for a 7 to ask in any season at any time, because really that is the key, and that's where like emotional burnout really does happen, and is really a great liability to a 7, because we stay upbeat to avoid feelings.
You know what's interesting is it takes a lot of intentional time, because if someone is going from happy to sad, it's easy to go, hey, let's really kind of talk about what's going on. When you go from sad to happy, there's not a lot of people that are confronting you and saying, you know what, you really need to go back down to where you're feeling. So it's an interesting dynamic to ask a question like that. I can see how it can be scary, because and you have to be really in tune to that. What am I trying to avoid by jumping so quickly to something positive? That's a big question. Good job, me. I don't know. Okay, type 8. Here we go. Challenger. Here we go, challengers. Okay, so this is what you're saying, likely thinking, maybe feeling. Let's be real. What worked and what didn't? All right, so it's looking back and saying, I need to know what went well and what didn't. And it's going to be direct. It's going to be honest. And it's an 8, so it's may very well be intense. So that's true.
And this one, they may actually not be thinking it just in their head. They may be vocalizing it. So it's like, okay, let's sit down and have an assess, address, apply.
Yeah, we're gonna figure this out. Okay, you got flowers, and then and then I, and the whole thing. So absolutely. And there's also a risk of unintentionally overpowering softer emotions, because though your heart is in the right place, the intensity can sometimes just trample any kind of softer emotion.
Yeah.
So the invitation of growth there is going to be always going back to tenderness. Lead there. That's actually strength for you. So leading with tenderness, not just the truth. The truth can be part of the communication and leading through that. But tenderness is actually the superpower there. Tenderness is wonderful. And then also invite vulnerability instead of confrontation. Confrontation is where you thrive. It's where you're strong, but having vulnerability is actually the true strength, right? And so the outside strength is that confrontational, take control, do the thing. But when you come in with vulnerability, open yourself up, what you're actually showing is inner strength as opposed to an outward confrontational type of way of going about it.
Yeah. And something that would be a helpful reflection could be, how can I protect my spouse's heart right now?
Wow.
And how can I kind of show that tender side, because again, for the type 8, it's all about just being vulnerable and letting someone into that soft side of you that usually only your spouse sees in moments, but increasing those moments into like being more prominent in your personality.
Yeah.
And so for the type 9, who is the peacemaker, one of the things that they may be thinking after the holiday has passed is, yeah, it was fine, I think.
Yeah.
And
it was fine. That's a favorite word of a 9. Fine.
Fine. Yeah.
It's right in the middle. Square dab in the middle.
Or I think.
Sure.
Because it's like, it's easy for them not to have like concrete.
Yep.
Because they haven't had time to actually process because they don't think that it matters if they did have a real feeling about it. So a lot of the times they can also minimize their own disappointment just to keep the peace. So again, it was fine. And it's like they're a lot of the times just doing that to kind of be passive and just kind of be like, I don't want any confrontation. I'm not going to tell you what I actually really wanted or felt. And they also may disengage and instead of expressing those needs. So
safer for them.
Yeah, it's way safer.
They feel safer by doing that.
Right. Yeah. Because they're afraid of causing conflict.
Yeah.
They're afraid of disrupting harmony. So it's like if they have an opinion that's different than the rest of the group or their spouse, it may feel as though it's like, oh, they're disrupting the harmony. So it's like that's where that peacemaker comes in.
Yep.
And so really an invitation for growth for them is to name preferences, even the small ones, like even the small details. Like, oh, I actually prefer the pink Otter Pop. Are Otter Pops still a thing?
They absolutely are, but I didn't know there was a pink one.
I don't know if there is or not.
Now I want an Otter Pop.
I actually really I like the green ones.
I'm all about the red one. Oh, no, the blue ones.
Blue ones are good.
Yeah.
I feel like we should get Otter Pops now. So naming those
Our new sponsor for this episode. Just kidding.
Even if they're small, but also believe your presence and like your desires actually matter and have like value.
And not in this idea of like, sure, they matter. No. Have a solid, real belief in, my belief, my things matter, my presence, believing in myself that I matter, me being here matters. Yeah, 100%. So a helpful question for you 9s is, what did I want? See, this is what I love about the questions that we're proposing is especially on the backside of the event or moment is you're assessing and you're looking back and going, what did I really feel? What did I really think, see, and how could I walk away better? And especially for a 9, what did I want that I didn't say? And what that is enforcing is, one, what you want matters, and what you say that you want also matters. And so I love that enforcement of those things because that right there is really gonna help them. So we've gone through each type and how you would have processed it on the backside of Valentine's Day and ways that you could improve should you choose to grow in your humanness, and then questions to ask, which are very helpful questions. And one of the things that kind of some helpful points to have as you're conversing with your spouse, or you're wanting to increase increase emotional intimacy. See
there
that
you
play?
go.
Yeah, is repair matters more than the romance. And so what that means is if you were experiencing difficulty during that time, like you were saying, if Valentine's Day 24 hours, maybe we're still in the bed. Your repair, the repair is the most important thing than the romance. And then remembering that missed expectations don't ruin marriage. So there's an expectation. It was missed. There's disappointment. What makes everything worse and actually creates the problem is the silence of the missed expectation, not talking about it. That's going to be worse than the missed expectation, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And then love deepens when couples revisit instead of retreat. We did an episode on repair before and how important repairs are. We've grown in our ability to repair.
Absolutely.
Actually, one of the markers, according to the Gottman book, one of the markers of a healthy marriage is your ability to repair and take the repair. And so that's one of those things where even in the midst of conflict, even if Valentine's Day is a struggle for you and your relationship, you have an opportunity to deepen the love together when you revisit the moments that were painful, but then grow together instead of retreating and just ignoring.
Right. And I think too, I love how we're asking ourselves the reflection questions, because it's getting us to actually think instead of just moving on quickly about how did we feel about it. But then also like sharing with your spouse, like just do like a quick 10-minute check-in and just be like, hey, like how did things go? What felt good? What felt disappointing? And what do we want to carry forward into like the next holiday, or what do we want to carry forward into tomorrow even? And it's like, because sometimes there is health and maturity into being like, okay, I'm not carrying that into tomorrow.
That's great. Yeah.
And, like there's been times where it's like I've kind of felt disappointed by something or, hurt by something. And I've given myself permission. I'm going to feel disappointed about this for the next day. But tomorrow I'm waking up and I'm choosing joy. I'm choosing something different than carrying this into the next day.
Yeah.
And so there's something that's like really healthy about doing that, and really replacing that like scorekeeping with a curiosity. So instead of like always just projecting our own emotions and feelings onto our other spouse, kind of get like curious about like our own experience.
That's great.
And just kind of do a quick check-in, knowing yourself. That's why we love the Enneagram. Knowing yourself on a deeper level is so valuable to help you be able to move forward in health and strength in marriage.
I mean, you also think from biblical perspective, the Bible talks about love doesn't keep a record of wrongs. And so if you're truly trying to love each other well, not keep it a record of wrongs. I love the staying curious. I said that right. Staying curious. Yeah. It is a valuable relationship tool because it allows you to step away. This is not just me. Staying curious on both ends, staying on both sides. I'm curious about how I'm feeling and why, but also staying curious on what you could be feeling and why.
And what it does is it causes you to let go of definitives of,
oh, that's great.
Of this is truth in our marriage because of X, Y, and Z. What it does is that gets broken off, and the curiosity has you be like, wow, like I think that was probably true for a certain time in our relationship, but what's kind of changed? What's going on now? How does that make me feel? How could my spouse be experiencing that? You are a different person. We are on a river. We're not in a lake. We're always changing, always flowing.
There's a really powerful statement in there. Staying curious. What'd you say about definitives? Allows you to release. It breaks down. What'd you say?
It breaks off the definitive.
Oh, staying curious breaks off the definitives. Wow. That's fantastic. We didn't even write that down.
I know. That's just in my brain.
Let's go. But hey, I have to give I gotta hand it to you, friends out there. If you're still arguing about Valentine's Day in April, congratulations. You've made it a whole season.
It's so dumb.
It's dumb. Is it dumb? I thought it was good. No, it was good, right? It was good.
All right.
It's a season. Summer, winter, Valentine's Day.
Well, we love Valentine's Day because we love love.
We do.
We love marriage and we love all the things that come in this season. But as we are kind of closing the chapter on this season and in February, we just want to kind of just encourage you guys, stay curious.
Yes.
Do your check-ins, know yourself more. And so again, if you are more curious about the Enneagram, go to our website and do the assessment. There's resources there. And honestly, we want to hear about your Valentine's Day. So leave a comment and or like tag us in something that you posted on Valentine's Day. We would love to celebrate and honor your relationship. And so definitely just keep on staying curious, and you made it through the season.
Congratulations.
Or apparently through April.
A whole season.
Such a nerd.
See you next time.